Are you like me and love to make both slimline and A2 sized cards with gorgeous papers and beautiful dies, and especially like colorful matching envelopes for your cards? Then this video is for you. Hello and welcome to Karen's Creative Cards on YouTube. I am Karen Hashik, and I used to have a small problem with the gorgeous paper part of that combination because I really don't have that many patterned paper, but you wouldn't know it looking at this card. Guess what I did to make the beautiful background on this slimline card and this A2 sized card? Guess what I used? Cocktail napkins. I am going to show you a very easy way to attach napkins to your backgrounds of your cards. But first I'm going to show you a bunch of cards that I made with napkin backgrounds and new dies from Dies to Die For at Shop Scrapbook 101. The June 2021 release is out. And the new Slimline set for June 2021 is this wood frame set. You get the large one and then a smaller one and then a square one that I'm going to be using later, and I used there, and then some really neat words, so it's a very versatile set. And of course links to all the products I feature today will be in the description box, and details on all of the cards I show as well. So this is the first card I made. And again, I used that beautiful cocktail napkin, and I put it over yellow cardstock for this one. I have that wooden frame, and then I highlighted the barn there and said hello. And again, all of those dies are in that set. And then I made a slimline envelope as well. A couple months ago, Dies to Die For came out with a die that made slimline envelopes, and now they've come out with a die to make A2 envelopes as well. So this is the A2 version. Another sentiment in that set is I love you more. I used a smaller frame for that one, that same beautiful napkin and that background, and then I even used a piece on the inside and I said Happy Father's Day. The Father's is made with another alphabet set that's new this month. So this is the envelope maker that Dies to Die For came out with a few months ago, and many of the cards that you're going to see today I've made a slimline envelope and an A2 envelope, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to make a beautiful envelope with the new die, which is the A2 size. So to make the slimline, you need a piece of 12 by 12 pattern paper, but to make the A2 size you only need a typical 8.5 by 11, and I've chose this pretty floral. And you're just going to take the die and you're going to put it along, you're going to fold a piece of pattern paper in half, and this is the fold. So the bottom part goes along the fold, and you're going to cut it out, and it does the cutting and the scoring for you. And this is what you end up with, a piece that looks like this. There are score lines along all the sides. On one of the sides you're going to cut this, this, and this piece off. You can use a scissors to do that. I like to use my paper cutter. I just think it ends up being neater. And I actually take a little more off the top than what is right up to the score line. I just think it lays a little nicer, but again, that's just a personal preference. And then we're also going to take these side pieces off right on the line on just one side. And you just cut right up till you feel it give, and that means that you're in the center there. So if you can see that line, that scored line, that's what I'm lining up with the cutting channel there. And then another thing that I like to do, again, it's just personal preference, I like to round these edges here just using a corner rounder. And then all you're going to do is fold these in and take a tape runner or whatever adhesive you would like to use. And our pretty envelope is complete. You can just use whatever adhesive you want to close that envelope. I like to take a little piece of score tape and put it on there, and then just remove the top of that when I'm ready to seal the envelope. Just turn that off a little. And then if it's a brightly colored envelope, I'll put an address label on there. But I don't think this one's too bright. I think I could write in black ink and it would still be very legible. But otherwise I use one of these address labels on there. So one thing I love about making cards with napkins is, depending on the background that you put the napkin on, it can look very differently. So these these 3 cards here were made with these beautiful, I think that's what, dinner size napkins. And you can see that I easily made both slimline and A2 sized cards. And I'm going to show you in a minute, but basically what you do is you take that napkin and you skin it. You take all the layers of, usually there's white on the back, and you're going to make it so you can basically see through it to do these napkin cards. And so this one here, I used that wooden frame I showed you, but I made it green, of course. Did a little sponging and made this beautiful slimline card. Here's another one I did. This one was over blue, so it looks like a blue sky that the birds are in. Very different look there, and another A2 frame from Dies to Die For. And then I love this one. I did this one over yellow, so it's nice and bright. Put another frame there, die, and it's a lovely hello card. And I made a matching envelope for this one, and here I did put that address label on, so it's real easy for the address to be added. So those are beautiful cards I made. This is a favorite set of napkins that I bought, and I'll admit, when I bought these, I bought them strictly to make cards with, so it was a bunch that I found, and it's got the wood framed, the panels, and the flowers. And I made this A2 card for my sister for her birthday. This June release has all sorts of really cool flowers, and these are the Carnations, and this is that Tiny Tank's Tiny Alphabet to personalize the card. I love to personalize cards, and that tiny alphabet is perfect for that. And then on the inside I have some more Carnations. I decided it would be fun to make a vellum envelope so that when my sister gets it, she'll see, oops, the beautiful card, and so will the postal personnel. So I decided to make an A2 envelope out of vellum, and I have an address label, and then you can see right through the vellum to the pretty card. So that was kind of fun. And then here's another slimline card that I made with that same napkin. I raised up Make-A-Wish like an eclipse, and then these are the flowers that I forget the name of, but anyway, Wisteria, that's what it is. I'm not really a flower person, but these dies make it so easy to make beautiful, beautiful flowers and cards. Here is I made with 2 cards that I made with these beautiful napkins. It has the baby's breath and the vase, and then again I used that tiny alphabet set to say soar, so it's an encouragement or a graduation card. And another beautiful A2 envelope out of patterned paper. And here's one more. You'll notice a pattern here. I made a slimline and an A2 card out of every one of the napkins that I attached. Baby's Breath again, a beautiful rose. And in the inside, congratulations, the layered congratulations is the new sentiment for the month, and more Baby's Breath there. And then, of course, I made a pretty slimline envelope for that one as well. I had some friends over for lunch recently, and I had these pretty napkins out to serve the lunch, and my friends are card makers too, and they said that these napkins would make beautiful cards, and I agreed, so I grabbed a couple to make these cards. So this is the card. We're going to make an A2 version of this slimline card. It has hydrangeas, beautiful hydrangeas with a vase, and I said happy hello, and the hello is from that slimline frame set. And then I even made a tiny little shaker there with one of the frames from that set, and that pretty floral background is a napkin. So you know what I did? I didn't turn this on. Doesn't take very long. One reason I like a Minc, well, there's several, okay? It doesn't take long to warm it up at all. And when you do the napkins through the Minc, you're going to set it to 5, which is higher than a traditional setting. Usually on the Minc you do 3 or 4 for traditional foiling, but the napkins take the highest heat. And that is why a laminator, in my experience, does not work for the technique that I'm going to show you. Now, you can use an iron, and I'm sure if you did a search on YouTube you could find some videos where people have used an iron. The key is that you're going to melt saran wrap or cling wrap. So you're going to use cling wrap between the napkin and the cardstock, and that is going to melt, and then it is going to hold the napkin to the cardstock, and then you can die cut it or cut it out as a background, which is what I did. Now we're going to skin them, like I said. So you're going to take the napkin and you're going to pull any white layers off. Now sometimes it's 3-ply and sometimes it's 2-ply. So in that case I only had to pull one off, and it was very easy to do, of course. And so I have a piece of napkin, and then I have a piece of cardstock, and then I have a piece of the cling wrap ready to go, and I am going to layer those together, and I'm going to put it in a carrier. And because it's going all the way to 5, it's going to take just a little bit. But there you go. That's all ready now. So whereas you know a laminator, you do have to wait a lot longer than that. So that is nice. I'm just going to show you too. This is the Hydrangeas die set that we're going to use, and I also have the new vase that I'm going to use on the card, and I showed you that slimline frame. This is the little frame from that, and the hello is from that set as well. So we're going to put this through. You take the edge that isn't open, and again it's on the 5 level, and the heat from the Minc will melt that. And just to save a little time, I'll show you when it comes out that it's done, but I did take an A2 sized card and I made that background, and I have already attached it. We're going to use the hello, and then we're going to put some flowers on as well. What did I do? I turned it off while I figured out that this is a mistake that I can show you. So I skinned the one I showed you, that extra piece, but the one that I had layered here ready to go, I didn't skin. So look what I did. I attached the white one to the back, but I'm going to just show you that it is very well attached, and I could cut any piece out of there, and I'll redo that, of course. But in the meantime, to save a little time, I did show you that I had done one perfectly fine, and all the other cards I didn't have any problem with. But yeah, you have to take all the layers off or that won't work. So we're going to make a card with this piece here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a mini shaker. I have taken the small square frame from that set that I showed you, and I have put a piece of acetate on the back, and then I put 2 layers of Motion Crafts skinny foam strips on it. I like to sometimes use 2 layers because it really raises it up nice. I take my EK Success, the word's not coming to me, but you know, it is a powder tool, EK Success powder tool, and get rid of any static there. And then I'm going to add some beads and some flowers. I cut out some flowers from the same set that we're going to use, and I like to use seed beads. They move very well in there, and I will remove the extra backing on these foam strips. And then I have a piece of adhesive that I'm going to seal the back up with. Of course, you can just use paper for that, but I like the idea that you're going to see that pretty napkin paper through it. And our shaker is ready to go. I have some flowers in there that are going to move around, and the beads. And then I'm going to use some skinny score tape to attach that. That's the top, right? Yeah. The hello was die cut with a adhesive on the back. Using easy cut adhesive sheets from ThermoWeb, which I like to do. I've started my flowers. I have the smaller of the vases from that one set, and I did the pink hydrangeas have been already cupped and shaped. I'm not the expert on flowers and how to shape them, but I did play around with these a little bit, and they're really easy to do. You just need some kind of stylus and a foam pad. And we're going to take some of the purple ones. And I want some of the smaller ones too. And basically I'm just going to poke it into the foam and cup it that way. Again, I'm not an expert on it. I tried just taking the other end and just going around with it, but these seem to hold their shape much better if I just really pushed it hard into the foam like that. Don't know how many I need, but we'll start with that many. And then I'm going to take some glue do it on here. And attach it and press it down. So basically we just shaped it, and now I'm applying glue to the back and then pressing it down. And there are smaller and larger sizes right in the die set. And of course you can put them as close as you want to each other, or the background, the die piece is the same color, so it doesn't have to total cover up every part. And then if you want to, you can take some of the really little ones and put them inside the bigger petals for even more dimension. I'm hoping you can see the pretty pink and purple flowers have great dimension and beauty, and that was really easy to do. So I have some score tape on the back here. And I think I'll add a little glue. You can see that I cut a piece out of the green for the stem and just used that to attach the flower base to on the back. So the flowers are attached, and I think I'll add a couple of leaves here. For a little extra green. So our bright and cheerful hello card with our hydrangeas flowers, a tiny little frame that's going to move around, and a hello is done. That's the A2 version, and here is the Slimline version. I had so much fun playing with these pretty napkins and the awesome new dies from Dies to Die For, especially the envelope and flower dies. I hope my cards encourage you to give these ideas and products a try. Thanks for watching, sharing, and subscribing, and thanks too for helping me share the joy of creativity.